Hey everyone, welcome to AMC Movie Talk for movie fans. I'm your host, Ashley Mova, and this is the daily show where we give you all of the latest news from the world of movies, plus a little bit of insight into what it all means. Joining us as always is AMC Movie News Editor-in-Chief, John Campea.
Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the best damn movie-related show on the planet Earth, coming to you live from right here at the Stream.TV studios here in Hollywood, California. And congratulations to all the fans of the great Oklahoma State Bucks. That's who won the college championships, right? Oklahoma State Ducks or something. What was it?
Like dollar bills?
I don't follow college football very well.
And also here, writer-director John Schnepp.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? So happy to be here on a Tuesday.
And also here, AMC's Christian Harloff.
Congratulations to the Macho Man, Hall of Fame. Ooh, yeah.
Did he get in the Hall of Fame this year? Did they announce that? I didn't even pay attention to that.
Oh, how time flies. The upcoming Avengers Age of Ultron is now just 3.5 months away when it debuts in AMC theaters on May 1st. And last night, the second official trailer hit the web. John, what did you think of the new Avengers trailer?
It's good. It's good. It felt too much, to me, it felt too much like the first one.
Right.
It was just, I love the first, go back and watch, I love the first trailer. I watched it like 100 times. My one little criticism of it was, it didn't have the Marvel identity to it. Like, it was just so depressing and dark and grim from start to finish. I felt like, if you go back and watch the original one, I was like, I could have done with a little bit of that Marvel personality in it. But okay, it was just the first trailer, whatever. It was a good first trailer. It was I watched this one and look, I saw some really cool shots in it. They're obviously going to be ratcheting up the action in this thing like a lot. It was cool seeing that at least the trailer suggests that Tony Stark is actually in that Hulkbuster armor. Mm-hmm. There was a theory going around that I personally subscribe to that the Hulkbuster armor was actually being taken over by Ultron or something fighting Hulk. Now this trailer makes it look like it's completely different. That was interesting. But once again, it's a second trailer with the exact same completely bleak. That's the term I'll use. Completely bleak tone. Mm-hmm. It's like, okay, I was okay with that with the first one, but the second one, again, it just felt like a carbon copy a little bit. But it's an Avengers trailer, so I was still watching it and geeking out a bit, seeing, it looks like the Hulk had been smoking a little bit too much the night before. He's got all the red eyes and whatever. But hey, it's a trailer. I was excited to see it. I just wish it wasn't basically, in terms of tone and feel, the exact same as the first trailer. That's all. Anyway, Christian, what did you think?
Yeah, I agree with you. I was watching this trailer with Topher Grace and Mark Ellis, and as I was watching it, I said, this looks like exactly the same trailer. Mm-hmm. And then he's like, wait, watch a couple things. And there were a couple more shots. Like you see Andy Serkis on a different angle now holding a gun, and then there's those shots with Stark fighting the Hulk. But it's an Avengers trailer. Like you said, I'm excited to see it. I want to see it. I just hope they don't do what the first Avengers trailer did and give us start spoiling too many shots. That's what I guess I did like about this, is that there wasn't too much new stuff. Maybe one more trailer, give me a little bit more of the story. I think we're getting a bleak movie anyway. We're going to have that humor that pops in just from the nature of these characters anyway. But this movie's going to be bleak. It is, from what it ultimately sets up. So I'm okay with that. But I just would like to see the next trailer, give me a little bit more about what the storyline is going to be, a little bit more, and then done.
Schnepp?
Yeah, I don't know if I would refer to this Avengers Age of Ultron as the Empire Strikes Back.
I was just thinking that.
Because it does have that, a lot of the characters are going to go through a lot of bad stuff. But I think that these kinds of trailers, I've seen this a couple times where you see a trailer pops out and you're like, oh my God, and then the second trailer is just like, different angle of the same stuff that you've seen, or extended version of this. So it really did feel like, I've already seen this trailer, but this is just like more Hulk and Hulkbuster fighting, more shots of Hawkeye in the woods, more shots of Captain America. You know what I mean? Like stuff which I'm totally cool with, because, we haven't seen the Vision yet. There's so many things that we know are going to be in the movie that we haven't even seen anything from. So whatever their final trailer is going to be, which will probably be like April 25th or whatever, like a week before the movie comes out, is when we're going to see all the stuff that we've never seen yet. So
yeah, I think the one word that jumps out to me that I feel like is missing from both these first two trailers, which I enjoy a lot, is fun. I'm like, when the first Avenger movie came out and those trailers came out, you just instantly, you felt the fun of it, right?
Right.
And I'm not feeling that in the first couple of trailers. We still, 3.5 months away.
Yeah.
There's still going to be one, maybe two more trailers. I'm with you. I think one more good 2.5-minute trailer is good enough, but they may give us two more. And so they're going to have more opportunity to show us a little bit more. You're right. We haven't even seen a glimpse of Vision yet. So there's still a lot more that we could possibly get little glimpses at. I just hope the next trailer they put out captures that fun. All right.
I was going to say, I could vouch that there's stuff that I saw that they haven't even shown us anything of. So
Don't tease us. All right. What's next?
The Fox Studios film Gone Girl was one of the more celebrated and successful films of 2014, making over $167 million at the domestic box office and over $365 million worldwide on a $61 million budget. On the heels of that success, original author and screenwriter of Gone Girl, Gillian Flynn, is suggesting a sequel could be in the cards. In a recent interview, Flynn said the following: "There could be a sequel at some point if everyone is game to get the gang back together. It could be really fun a few years from now to pick it up and see what those crazy duns are up to a few years down the road and if they got on. Not well, I don't think." Schnepp, would you be up for a Gone Girl sequel?
absolutely not. I know it's the writer of the book, and she also wrote the screenplay, but I felt it was a great film. I'm against all these like sequelitis just because a movie made money. I get it. It made money. Make Gone Boy. You're not going to see me in the theater.
I completely disagree. And because I'm torn a little bit, I gotta say, because at first I'm like, man, this movie, Gone Girl, wrapped up so well. Mm-hmm. And so my first thought was no. But the more I thought about it, I remember being in the theater, and when that movie ended, I was like, I wanted another 45 minutes. I wanted to see what this crazy girl was going to do next. I wanted to see what Ben Affleck was going to do next. So there is a part of me that thinks there's another story to tell here about, okay, what happens after they go to bed that night? Like, what comes next? Because it's almost like the ending, while a great bow on the whole package, it almost felt like the introduction to the next chapter of the story a little bit. So I shouldn't say I completely disagree with you, because there is a little bit part of me that is torn, but I'm going to lean on the side of I would be interested. I'm not jumping up and down for it. I'm not saying, please give me another one, but they did it. I think there's stuff there to tell. Anyway, Christian, what did you think?
I'm with you on this one, Schnepp. I don't want to. I think that it did it. The one and done. It set it up perfectly. And what you felt as you're watching this movie transpire, you're like, wait, what? And now you'll know. It takes away, and we're too past spoilers here, but when you're going to see the second one, you know what she's all about, you know what he's all about. It takes away the mystery of it, and I agree that if it would have went another 10, 15 minutes, I would have been cool, but that 15 minutes of a sequel has to turn into another 2 hours, another 2:15. So how are they going to be able to sustain that and keep the mystery of it? And I think that's one of those movies that should stay a one and done. Like, you're right, like sometimes they just say, well, just because it made money, sequel, and we'll get the writer who did it, so that way it looks like it's got validity because she wrote the book and now she wrote the screenplay. Leave it alone. We don't need, and who knows if Fincher will come back and do it? Who knows? So we don't need it.
Yeah, it also feels like, you get the Chinatown, and then a few years later you get the Two Jakes. You have the French Connection. A few years later you get the French Connection too. Films that nobody cares about. They were made. They just didn't hold up to the original. It's like you're going to get that with this. It feels like it's a money grab. That's
like
all.
Empire Strikes Back.
No, you know what I mean.
All right, folks, we reached that part of the show for buy or sell. Here's how this works. In front of her, Ashley's got a few other items in the world of movie news. She's going to run them down. Then those of us at the table are simply going to say whether we buy it or sell it. So, Ashley, what do we got?
Universal Studios has released the first trailer for their upcoming horror film, Unfriended. The film is described as follows. Ushering in a new era of horror, Universal Pictures' Unfriended unfolds over a teenager's computer screen as she and her friends are stalked by an unseen figure who seeks vengeance for a shaming video that led a vicious bully to kill herself a year earlier. Ooh, Christian, buy or sell the trailer for Unfriended.
Now, I was joking with John. I was like, I always get these horror trailers right off the bat. Everyone knows my stance on a lot of these found footage horror films. This is kind of a little bit different. But strangely enough, I'm going to buy this film, but I'm going to sell the trailer. And I'll tell you why. I'm buying the film because it's new, it's different. It's the fact that these kids are playing this Skype game, and the acting looks not good, but who cares? It's like it's a matter of it's almost like what they did with the first Paranormal Activity, to where is it going to be an actual ghost? Is it going to wind up being the girl's mother or father? Who knows? But let's see how we develop it. It's new, so to me, I was like, okay, I could have fun. I sell the trailer because they showed the whole movie. The whole movie. It's literally that guy dies that way, then she dies there, and then there's one girl left. I just saw the movie. Stop it. What are you doing? You sold me on the Skype thing. You sold me on it, and then you just lost me at the end of it. This trailer stinks. The movie, I want to say.
Snap. The new sound of death.
Selling! I'm selling it! Garbage. You know what? I don't care if it's a brand new way. Look, we're filming each other talking. Oh, there's a monster. But that shot there made me laugh uncontrollably. The big guy like putting his hand in a blender. I don't know. I'm saying this looks so dumb. It's pathetic.
I tell you something.
It's going to make $100 million. I'm sorry. I'm selling the movie, but it's going to make so much money. No, it is. People are going to be like, that's just like me. I do that too. I'm on my iPhone. You know, weird.
Sequel's called Clickety Clackety.
Yeah, it should have been.
Do you know that the original title of this film was Cybernatural?
Oh, really?
Thank you. I was trying to find that. I remember I was like, wasn't this called something different?
It was called Cybernatural. Terrible trailer.
Ooh.
I gotta say, I like the name of the movie.
Yeah, Unfriended is perfect.
I think Unfriended, especially once you watch the trailer, it fits. The first 30 seconds of the trailer, I'm like, oh God, no. I buy the trailer. I gotta admit, by the end of the trailer, and I'm with you, they did end up showing a little too much. For all I know, all this stuff happens at the 20-minute mark. I don't know.
Right.
But I do feel they show a little bit too much. But after I got over that initial thing, it was like, not another one of these. I have to admit, this whole new gimmick they're using, and it is a gimmick, and gimmick is not intrinsically a bad word. This gimmick of telling the story through these Skype windows and stuff like that, very creative. And I gotta admit, by about the minute and a half mark, I started to feel a little creepy. That doesn't happen to me a lot. So it's original, it's probably gonna be crap.
Right.
But it's an original concept, like the title. The trailer got me into it, so even though it's against my better judgment, I got to give it a buy. All right, what's next?
Progress has been slow on the development of G.I.Joe 3 since the second film in the series premiered nearly 2 years ago, but things may be getting back into motion again. According to a report from Deadline, Eagle Eye and Disturbia director DJ Caruso is in talks to helm the third Joe film. Caruso has also previously directed the film I Am Number 4 and several episodes of the hit TV show The Shield. John Byers saw the idea of DJ Caruso directing G.I. Joe 3.
I'll give it a buy. I like DJ Caruso. Not everything he's done has been sterling gold, but I mean, I Am Number 4, which a lot of people hated. I thought it had its upsides. I thought I Am Number 4 had some potential there and had some nuggets of some really good stuff. Didn't tie it all very well together. Disturbia was a really good little film. I even thought Eagle Eye was done quite well. I remember he was going to direct for about 2 years. He was attached to direct Why the Last Man.
Oh, that's right.
And he had his Eagle Eye guy and Disturbia guy. Shia LaBeouf was also attached to that. I was really curious to see that film a lot. The G.I. Joe franchise has just never worked for me. You know, the first one was not nearly as bad as I thought it would be. I thought the first one was going to be garbage, and it was, at best, I could say it was okay. But at least the first G.I. Joe film felt like a G.I. Joe film. The second film with The Rock, even though you had a much bigger, charisma-wise actor in it now with The Rock in it, it felt like a generic action film with the G.I. Joe name slapped on it. It didn't feel like a G.I. Joe film to me, whereas at least the first one does. A guy like Caruso with his sensibilities, I think he could bring that back. I think he can bring that identity back to it. So my first choice, no, but a decent choice, I think so. I'll give it a buy. Christian?
I'm going to buy it also for DJ Caruso because I'm a fan of his. I didn't like I Am Number 4, but I like his other work for sure. I have to disagree with you on the G.I. Joe thing just because I always based it off the G.I. Joe. I know a lot of people based it off the show. I based it off the Marvel comics. I read all the G.I. Joe Marvel comics when I was a kid. I loved them. They were very gritty. They had where they would go. The storylines were
Larry Hama's gonna love you.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, I loved the comics. So I wanted the second one. I had the feel of the comics a little more. It still wasn't the best movie, but I think that Caruso could take it more in that vein of getting away from the cartoon and getting more into the comics. And I hope they actually explore issues because there's some really good character pieces that have not yet been explored in that franchise. And I want them to do what the Fast franchise has done. Switch the tone. If this movie turned like it's still G.I. Joe, so you have to have, like using your word before, is having fun. You have to have fun with G.I. Joe, but you can still make it a little bit more serious and get into those deeper meanings. With G.I. Joe was a lot of fun. Read the comics. You can find the Marvel comics. The first 60 issues. Check them out.
You know, I never read many of the G.I. Joe comics, but I read all of the ones that did the crossovers with G.I. Joe and Transformers.
Right. Yeah, it was like a 4-episode run, right? It was a good one.
Well, I'm going to buy it too. I've been to several clubs, and the way he spins a vinyl.
DJ Caruso.
DJ Caruso. And I love Disturbia. I thought that was a great film. He's a really good, solid director, and I think he's going to help bring something to the franchise that's missing, which is kind of just a little more storytelling. I think most of his films, as far as a director, he can direct the movie forward visually. I found that the second G.I. Joe, Retaliation, it was called. It was not the word comic booky in a bad way, but sort of just, it was flat, in a lot of the action scenes where it was like, okay, here comes the truck, and there's just like not a lot of dynamism.
And RZA's not allowed to be in anymore.
Oh, he's not?
I hope so.
Well, I certainly hope he comes back.
Which was really funny because you
one.
thought in the second one, like you think if anything, the action would be better when you get the director of Justin Bieber Never Say Never. I just couldn't understand how the action wasn't ramped up. All right, what's next?
The first trailer for the upcoming Melissa McCarthy film Spy has hit the web. The film is described as follows. Susan Cooper, Melissa McCarthy, is an unassuming desk-bound CIA analyst and the unsung hero behind the agency's most dangerous missions. But when her partner, Jude Law, falls off the grid and another top agent, Jason Statham, is compromised, she volunteers to go deep undercover to infiltrate the world of a deadly arms dealer and prevent a global disaster. Spy hits AMC theaters on May 22nd. Schnepp, buy or sell this red band trailer for Spy?
I buy this red band trailer. I laughed out loud. It's got three of the most fantastic ladies alive: Allison Janney, Rose Byrne, Melissa McCarthy. Rose Byrne and Allison Janney can do no wrong. Melissa McCarthy, sans Tammy, we won't talk about that. She's fantastic. I'm glad she's going to be in the new Ghostbusters. She always makes me laugh. And in this movie, there were so many scenes that just made me laugh. She's just funny. So I really buy it.
Christian?
Yeah, I buy it as well too. The red band trailer is really funny, especially without saying it. What Statham says at the table was so good. Right. There were a lot of lines like you. I laughed out loud. But what I really enjoyed about it was from Melissa McCarthy. She relies on a couple of her tricks. I feel she has to fall down in every movie she's in, which is fine. I still laughed at it. But I got more of that toned down sense that I got from her in St. Vincent than that just obnoxious thing that she does, like what she did in The Heat.
Until she was talking about cutting off the guy's penis.
Right, and that comes at the end. I'm okay if that evolves. If it evolves towards the end, but to see her character is kind of timid, a little more timid, and then is thrown into this thing.
Right. I think the penis cutting is towards the end of the movie.
Towards the end, and he deserved it.
They gave too much away.
Right. But so I buy it.
Despite the fact that this trailer and this movie has a lot of some of my favorite people in it, I gotta sell it.
Really?
It didn't really work. Although there were moments in the trailer that I did laugh. That I think Jude Law is a really good fit for something like this. I am a big fan of Jason Statham. I mean, right now he's the king of direct-to-home video movies. But I really like Jason Statham. I like Melissa McCarthy, Rose Byrne, Allison Janney. Great cast. But I couldn't help but wonder if I sat back and say, you know what? If I took out all these people that I loved and just put all actors in there that I didn't know about, would I feel like this was a second-rate college film school kind of thing? Yeah, I would. So hopefully
but
the
it
movie's
doesn't
awesome.
have all the
I know,
all
true. But hopefully for me the movie really does kick and work. But I got to sell the trailer.
You see my Spies film, you know what I mean?
What just happened? I sneezed. There was a lot of pollen in the room.
I didn't do it on purpose. All right, we've reached that part of the show for Mailbag. This is how it works. If you've got a topic or a question you would like us to address on the show, you can email us anytime at amcmovietalk@gmail.com. Now, unlike yesterday, today we will leave a little bit of time at the end of the show to take some of your live Twitter questions. So if you're watching us live, you can tweet in some questions to us at AMC Movie News, and Ashley will pick out a couple at the end of the show for us to do. But for now, let's get to the mailbag questions. So Ashley, what do we got?
Danny Bracewell writes, Dear AMC, with the recent news of Ghost in the Shell being made stateside, I was wondering if the movie found success, they would finally push forward the work they were doing on the Akira live-action movie, which I believe was supposed to be made by Leonardo DiCaprio. Akira is my favorite movie and manga. Any news or thoughts?
Well, it was never going to be made by Leonardo DiCaprio. WB is developing it, and DiCaprio's company is going to be on as one of the co-producers of it as well. From what I understand, they're still trudging ahead. They attached a director to it. I know that. They got a script. I know that. And they're trudging along. they might be doing exactly what you just suggested. They might be wanting to sit back, say, well, we got this Ghost in the Shell coming up. Maybe we'll just sit back and see how the audience responds to it, and then either go forward, not go forward, or see how we need to adjust. From what I understand, the new story takes place actually in the United States. It takes place in a place called New Manhattan. But WB, if I understand this right, WB wanted to make sure that even though this wasn't happening in Asia, they wanted to have a reason to bring in, because the roots of Akira are obviously in Asian filmmaking, they wanted to have a reason to have a lot of a big Asian presence in the film. So they're going to say in the movie that it happens in New Manhattan in the United States, but at some point, the government of Japan bought New Manhattan from the US to help deal with their overpopulation problems so people could live there. So they're going to try to incorporate a best of all worlds sorts of things. So my basic understanding is they're still moving hedges very slowly, but what you're suggesting in the email actually sounds very feasible to me. They may be waiting to see how this turns out. Schnepp.
Yeah, I think it's Neo Manhattan to keep that edgy Blade Runner flavor. Hey, I'd like to see a live action Akira. To me, they've already made Akira. It's the animated film. I don't ever have to see a live action Akira, but if they make it, I'll go see it.
Right.
And I don't care if they change it from Neo Tokyo to Neo Manhattan to Neo Philadelphia. It doesn't really matter to me.
San Francisco.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I mean. I already have the adaptation, and it's adapted from this giant tome of amazing manga. So if you really want to know what Akira is about, read the manga comic books, because that's crazy. Like, it's a lot. But yeah, we're out of buy and sell. What is this?
Yeah, just what you think of it.
I'm just into it. So
I'd like to see it be a commercial film as well too, because people not everybody's going to go out and read the mangas, and so to bring this story to a lot of people would be great. And I agree. I think that it would be a smart move to say if they have the script in development, the movie, wait for Ghost in the Shell to come out, see how it does, and then you go. The movie did well, but the counter to that is if they put together this script. They really like what they have. They have a talent attached, and they believe that if sometimes studios aren't ballsy enough to do this. Warner Brothers has proven that they are sometimes. So maybe they have a script that they're like, you know what? It doesn't matter what that movie does. We are confident with the talent that we have attached. Let's go. Let's do this thing. And maybe even if that one fails, ours will hit, and we'll be the ones responsible for bringing the genre.
Well, that's the other thing is Akira has a global crossover.
Right.
I mean, if you do it right, it's going to just will bleed money. It's like it's made to make money. When you see the animation, it's so much action. It's incredible films. So
one of the things I know that has been a wrench in the gears for it up to this point is that every time they go to Warner Brothers with a budget number, Warner Brothers says, that's too expensive. And then they went back and came back again, that's too expensive. So I know budget has been an issue, so maybe they're still just trying to work that out.
Direct attached story or no?
I believe there was, and I can't remember the name off the top of my head. So guys in the chat board, just jump on in there and let us know who that is. All right, what's next?
Justin Parker writes, "You are all a godsend to me, and I've been a loyal viewer for about 2 years now, and I was wondering, why is Hollywood giving Jeremy Renner so much crap? First, his part in the Avengers was minimalized. He was supposed to take over the Mission Impossible franchise, but it soon became part of Tom Cruise's comeback, and now for all intents and purposes, his Bourne film has been cut. Why is Jeremy Renner going to get a break?"
Okay, so Jeremy Renner, he is in the biggest movie cinematic franchise probably in history. He got put into one of the great action franchises in Mission Impossible. He got put into one of the great action franchises in what did he just get in the Bourne series, right? When is he going to get a break? I know several actresses that work at the Denny's as waitresses right now who might stab you in the face if you ever said, why isn't Jeremy Renner getting a break? He's getting a break, but let's qualify a few things here. It's not that Hollywood is giving him crap. There's not one mayor of Hollywood who sits down. It's, there's different situations.
I wish there was.
Yes.
You're Mayor of Hollywood. He's like, come before me, like the Wizard of Oz.
No gun girl too.
Sitting on a giant marshmallow. Yes.
No, thank you today.
I nominate John Schnepp as mayor of Hollywood. So, this is just individual situations. Look, when you're talking about the Avengers part, you say his role got minimal. It's not his role. Hawkeye is not Jeremy Renner's. Hawkeye is Marvel's, and Marvel decided what we want with this character is for this character to play this role. It's not Jeremy Renner's role. When you're talking about the Mission Impossible stuff, yeah, the plan was for Renner's guy to kind of take over the mantle of Mission Impossible, but that's not what the audience wanted. And the studio figured that out. I mean, that last one was probably the best of the franchise.
Oh, it's fantastic.
And it was clear it was a resurgence for Tom Cruise, and it just kind of reinforced that the audience wanted Tom Cruise running this thing. And then with Bourne, it just didn't work. I liked the last Bourne. I liked Bourne Legacy. I did. But it's not on the same level as the previous, as the Greengrass and Matt Damon Bournes. And the audience knew that, so the audience wants Matt Damon back. So this isn't about Hollywood, and it's not about Jeremy Renner not getting breaks. This is an Academy Award nominated actor. He will continue to get great roles. He's in some of the biggest franchises in Hollywood. Do not lose any sleep for poor Jeremy Renner not catching a break in Hollywood. He's getting tons of them. Anyway, Christian.
Well, he's certainly not going to be doing any movies with J-Lo anytime soon. After that. But look, and Hansel and Gretel 2 might be coming out. But the question, not so much if he got a break, because obviously, like you said, there are tons of actors out there who will kill for this guy's career. But there are some guys that just don't always pop into the leading man role. He will continue to be a guy that you recognize his face, you know his name, he's going to be great in the roles you put him in, but he might not be the guy that carries the movie. Audiences tell you if they want to support the guy as the star. I mean, this is a more of an extreme case, but look at the case of Taylor Kitsch and Sam Worthington and guys like that who are in these movies that, those are your new stars, those are your stars, go, like them. And then we go, no, they're just not, we're not going to follow them. Renner has a much better career, I think, than both those guys, but he fits better in these supporting roles, but he very well might get that role that he gets his franchise. We just haven't supported him on that yet.
How good was he in The Town?
Great.
Like,
Great. He's a great actor and a phenomenal talent.
I'm going to say, who needs a franchise? I mean, he's just a great actor.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, I don't
he's
feel
getting
like
lots of work.
Yeah, he's getting incredible amounts of work. He's got tons of roles constantly being thrown at him. He was in giant, like you said, giant franchises as the lead character. I don't see how, like, how I'm not going to cry for, like, oh, I got Rennered, or that's not a catchphrase.
T-shirt.
Yeah, it's like Ben Affleck's, don't try to Renner me.
Right.
I'm going to be Batman in this movie and this movie. You're not going to replace it. I'm not getting Rennered. That's just not, no one's saying that. He's in, like, the guy's, like, in so many films, and he's a great actor, so I'm not crying for him.
All right, we said we'd take a few minutes at the end of the show, take some of your live Twitter questions. We're going to do that right now. So, Ashley, what have you selected for us today?
Srikar writes, you guys always say that all film is subjective, and it's true, but is acting subjective?
Well, actually, yeah, it is. I mean, there's certain skills sets you need to bring, but then it all becomes a part of, can you convince somebody you've become that person? And you can come in here and do a performance, and you can convince me, and you can convince Christian, but for whatever reason, it didn't convince Schnapp. So yeah, there's a part. It's art, and art. Look, I say this all the time. Art is subjective, yes, but by subjective I mean you can't measure it unless you have something you can take a tape measure to or quantifiably measure. Then that means it becomes a matter of opinion and becomes a part of the subjective expression. So yeah, acting is absolutely subjective. Can you act in a certain way to appeal to the broadest group of people? Yes. And some others can't, but yeah, it is absolutely subjective. Or Schnapp, do you see it any other way?
No, I totally agree. I mean, it's funny, before we even started the show, we were talking about a certain film, and these guys liked the performances, and I didn't. And it's just, how we reacted to the film. It has nothing to do with the actors or actresses we were talking about. We all think they're great. It's just that particular performance maybe didn't gel with me. It gelled with these guys. So
yeah, it's completely subjective. I was having a conversation with my father-in-law, who was a professor at USC in theater for 30 years. That's what he did. Was teach acting. He and I were going back and forth about Bradley Cooper in American Sniper. There were certain things that he saw from his experiences in life that Bradley Cooper didn't convince him that he was that character. As to me, blew me away. So it's also life experiences, ways you see things that maybe transpire, like a character on film or an acting performance that you see and go, oh yeah, I resonate with that. Right. As where someone else goes, that seems fake to me.
Or what you bring to the table. Absolutely. I had a very similar conversation with Holly's dad about Whiplash, where he didn't think that J.K. Simmons' character was realistic. And I said, actually, I was like yelling at the screen because it affected me so much, because I had a teacher just like that when I was in college. It was super abusive. And eventually had tenure. Eventually he got booted for very similar reasons.
That was my mom.
Well, your mom's
awesome. Yeah. My mom's awesome. Okay, one more.
Josiah Ward writes, how long do you wait before putting a recent movie on your top 10, 20, or 50 list? I'm thinking about Whiplash.
It's difficult because sometimes I'll come out of a movie and I'll want to go, that was the best action, horror, comedy, whatever you name it, I have ever seen. But I know I got to sit back, take a breath, and let it settle, let it resonate a little bit, and then. I go 6 months for me. For me, it's usually about 6 months. Like I might start talking right away because I came out of Avengers. And I'm like, look, I'm not going to crown it right yet, but that is one of the, if not the best comic book movie I've ever seen. I may not make my official list today and put it there. Maybe wait a few months. But yeah, for me, maybe about 6 months. What do you guys think?
I'd just give it around the 6 month period too, because that's when it comes out on Blu-ray, and then I watch it again. For example, Wolf of Wall Street. When I was blown away by the movie when I saw it, but I'm like, I'm gonna wait because I want to see if I have the same experience, and I did when I watched it the second time, and it's in my top for sure, and that took about 5-6 months to get on Blu-ray.
Yeah, I mean, it gets difficult during these award seasons because then you're like watching a film and you literally have to decide in your own mind, like, is this worthy of the top, not only top 10, but which one am I going to vote for? I mean, using Whiplash as an example, I hadn't seen it up until about 3 weeks ago, and then it blew me away. So it wasn't even in my top 10. I was like, I heard about that drumming movie. Everyone keeps telling me about J.K. Simmons, whatever. And then it really affected me. I thought it was incredible. So.
All right, folks. Well, that will do it for us for this episode of AMC Movie Talk. Thanks so much for joining us. Hey, just a heads up, guys. On Thursday's show, Thursday's Movie Talk, it will not be at its regular scheduled time of 11 a.m. Los Angeles time. It will actually be 1 hour earlier just for Thursday because I got to go to somebody's house, whose house I cannot tell you who it is yet, but I'll tell you about it a little bit later that day. So we're going to shoot the show 1 hour early on Thursday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time just for Thursdays, just so you got that in mind. Don't forget, lots of great films playing at AMC Theaters right now. Head on over to www.amc Theaters for all your theater, showtime, and of course your movie ticket information. If you want an audio-only version of this episode, look in the description of this video and you'll find a link to our podcast feed. And don't forget to click the thumbs up button, share this video on Twitter and on Facebook, and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. I want to thank, first of all, the guys sitting at the table with me, starting right here, Mr. Christian Harloff. Christian, where can people find you online?
Are you ready for some Jedi Council? It's coming back very soon, guys. If you want to get updates, follow me at Christian Harloff, same at Instagram.
Right over there, the mayor of Hollywood, Mr. John Schnepp. Schnepp, where can people find you online?
You can find me at Twitter and Instagram at John Schnepp and at TDOSLWH. And I keep looking, every time it cuts to you, you have Meryl Streep behind you. It looks like, just cut over to John for a second. And you see, like, it looks like she's like, I keep hearing the Skype. Like, I'm like, is she looking at him? Like, the eyes keep moving. I keep thinking something's going to happen.
And you have Paddington.
And you have
Where's my blender?
Yeah. And our lovely host today, Miss Ashley Mova. Ashley, where can people find you?
Twitter, Instagram at Ashley Mova. Happy Tuesday, guys.
And you can find me on the interwebs, just on Facebook or on Twitter, just at John Campia. Thanks a lot for joining. Oh, and hey, by the way, guys, follow AMC Movie News on Instagram. Go on over there and start following us there. We put up a bunch of pictures there. Thanks for joining us, guys. My name is John Campia for AMC Movie News, and until next time, bye-bye.
Hey everyone, if you liked this video, click that thumbs up button and make sure to subscribe to our AMC Movie News YouTube channel. It's free and helps you stay up to date with all the latest movie news, as well as our daily AMC Movie Talk show. Also, make sure that you follow us on Facebook and Twitter to stay up to date with all of our special promotions, contests, and prize giveaways.